Alright, so our next topic is going to be called unit rates. So, what a unit rate basically is how much of something per 1 unit of something else. Okay, so let me explain. On his way to visit his sister at college, Greg drives 135 miles in 3 hours. What is his average rate of speed in miles per hour? Okay, so I want to figure out how much is for 1 hour. Okay, I want to know how many miles he's traveling for 1 hour. So that's going to be in my denominator. So I have 3 hours, 135 miles, and I want to figure out the unit rate. So I'm going to figure out how much per one. So it's going to be for 1 hour. And then this is going to be the amount of miles. So I'm going to divide by the denominator here for both the top and the bottom. So 135 divided by 3 is going to be equal to 45 miles. So the unit rate is going to be 45 miles per hour. That's the unit rate. So it's going to be expressed per 1 unit of something. Okay? So Jan designs a new logo for Kim's website. Kim pays Jan $45 for 5 hours of work. How much money does Kim pay Jan per hour? So I want my unit rate to be expressed in per hour. Alright? So we have $45, and I would encourage you to pause the video and give this a try. So $45 for 5 hours of work. So a unit rate will be for 1 hour, and this is going to be X. So I'm going to divide by my denominator. So 45 divided by 5, X is going to be equal to $9. So the unit rate is $9 per hour. Now, we use unit rates in order to also figure out what's a better buy or what's a better option in real world situations. So, like this example, a value pack of 20 granola bars is on sale for $7.20. And the price of a pack of 8 is $2.72. Which pack is a better buy? So that's usually going to mean which one is cheaper. So in order to figure that out, I must figure out the unit rate of each of them so that I could compare them. So since it's asking, actually I could put whichever in the denominator. So I'm just going to go with the granola bars. So I'm going to put 20B, 20 bars, $7.20. I don't know how much, but I want to figure out how much is for 1 bar. So I'm going to divide both my numerator and denominator by 20. So after doing that, I get X is going to be equal to 36 cents. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but for this 8-pack here. So 8 bars is going to be for $2.72. 1 bar is going to be for that amount of money, X amount. So I'm going to divide by 8. So X is going to be equal to 34 cents. And as you can see, 34 cents will be cheaper than 36 cents. It's slightly cheaper. So the 8-pack will be the better buy. Now, I would say pause this video and give this one a try. Which is the better value? 3 pounds of apples for $2.40 or 5 pounds of apples for $4.25. Whenever I'm given a price, I always put that in the numerator because it's usually a dependent variable. So we got 3 pounds. I want to figure out my unit rate, so that would be for 1 pound. Divide by 3. So $2.40 divided by 3 is gonna leave me with 80 cents. Now, to compare that with the other one, we have 5 pounds for $4.25. We need to figure out the value of x, and we're comparing it to our unit rate. So I'm going to divide by 5 and divide by 5. So x is going to be equal to 85 cents. So which one is the better buy? It would be the 3 pound. Okay, so that's basically it. Now, we're going to go over some fractions, so you will have to remember how to multiply fractions as well as how to divide fractions. So we'll do some problems with both fractions in the numerator as well as fractions in the denominator. So a bucket is leaking. After 3 hours, the bucket leaked 3/4 of an ounce. How many ounces per hour, so hours in my denominator, is the bucket leaking? So we have 3 hours compared to 1 hour for my unit rate. And then in 3 hours, 3/4 of an ounce has leaked. I need to figure out how much will leak in 1 hour, of course, assuming if it's leaking at a constant rate. So let's divide by the denominator, so divide by 3. So we have 3/4 is divided by 3. Just a refresher, in order to divide fractions, we have to keep, change, flip. So I'm going to simplify this. 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 1 is 4. So x is going to be equal to 1/4 of an ounce. So how many ounces per hour is the bucket leaking? 1/4 of an ounce per hour. After 15 minutes, a train was moved 9/2 miles towards its destination. How many miles per minute is the train moving? So miles per minute, I want my minute in my denominator. So we have 15 minutes compared to 1 minute for my unit rate. I don't know the amount of miles yet for 1 minute, but I know it's 9/2 miles. Divide by 15, numerator and the denominator. So we got 9/2. In order to divide it, I need to multiply by its reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 15/1 is 1/15. Simplify by dividing by 3. So we have 3/10 miles is the value of x. So x is 3/10 of a mile. So how many miles per hour is the train moving? It's moving 3/10 miles per hour. Now, that was with fractions in the numerator. So let's check out some questions with fractions in the denominator. After 3/4 of a minute, a sloth has moved just 3/8 of a foot. What is the sloth's speed in feet per minute? So per minute is my denominator. So we have 3/4 of a minute. I'm going to compare that to my unit rate of 1 minute. I don't know how far the sloth traveled in 1 minute, but I know it traveled 3/8 of a foot in 3/4 of a minute. So in order to do this, I'm going to divide by 3/4. But remember, to divide by a fraction means to multiply by its reciprocal. So 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 12/12 is 1. So that works. We've done this before in the previous unit. Whenever you have a fraction in the denominator and you want to turn it into 1, you'll multiply by its reciprocal. So now I need to multiply the numerator by its reciprocal. So 3/8 multiplied by 4/3. I'm going to simplify and then simplify. We have 1/2 of a foot. So that sloth is moving half a foot per minute. Pretty slow. And we have our last one here where it's kind of like a better buy problem, but we still have those fractions in the denominator. Food A contains 150 calories in 3/4 of a serving. Food B contains 250 calories in 2/3 of a serving. Find each unit rate. Which food has fewer calories per serving? So let's start with food A. I need the calories per serving. So serving is going to be in my denominator. So I have 150 calories for 3/4 of a serving. Need to figure out how much is for one serving, but I don't know the amount of calories yet. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal multiplied by 4/3. So 150 times 4/3. So I could divide this by 3 and divide this by 3. So I get 200 calories is X. So it's going to be 200 calories per serving for food A. Now let's do food B. We have 250 calories and 2/3 of a serving. Need to figure out the unit rate for one serving, but we don't know the calories yet. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by 3/2. So 250 over 1 times 3/2. I'm going to simplify this. This is going to be 125. So we have 375 calories is going to be X. So for food B, we have 375 calories per serving. And this is food B. Okay, so which food has fewer calories per serving? That's definitely going to be food A. 200 compared to 375. So that's going to be it for this concept.